Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to Madam Noaini and our beloved friends. The topic for our presentation today is Asean Way Forward. Before we get started, let me explain to all of you what is Asean Way Forward. As we all know, ASEAN country has been successfully achieved the basic goal of maintaining regional peace. So, what is Asean Way? Asean Way is a decision-making process that emphasizes on discussion and consensus. It focuses on country members' equality and the importance of cooperation. Asean Way also has a significant amount of attention from Asian scholars and students of Asian region, and the main element of the process that consists of the principle of non-interference, non-use of force, and quiet diplomacy. Also, Asean Way has been perceived as the main contributor to success and failure to ASEAN.
The proponents of Asean Way argue that this decision-making process helps the member countries to respect each other and produce peace in the region. Asia's success to keep regional peace meets a regional goal as a regional organization, and it has been considered as one of the most successful regionalism in the world. On the other hand, Asean Way is often blamed for the organization's ineffectiveness and the lack of overt results. The process of decision-making is considered as the main problem that Asean is important to solve regional issues, especially with the recent episode of unfinished dispute over the South China Sea between China and some Asian members.
Next, the issue in Asean Way Forward. Human rights are rights. They are fundamental to all human beings regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, or religion. However, due to the diverse culture and varying political structure in Southeast Asia, tackling human rights issue remains a major hurdle for the region. The issue faces by all 10 countries in the region tend to be attacked by human rights defenders, religious freedom, blasphemy, sexual orientation, and gender identity. The first issue is attacks on human rights defenders. In Thailand, the killing of more than 30 human rights defenders and other civil society activists since 2001 remains largely unsolved. The same pattern is seen in Myanmar as well, where human rights defenders are under the constant threat of arrest and murder due to the country's corrupt judiciary practices and weak rule of law. The second issue is freedom of religion and blasphemy. In Myanmar, religious minorities including Hindus, Christians, and Muslims continue to face threats and persecution. The Vietnam government constantly scrutinizes, harasses, and conducts crackdowns on religion groups outside government-controlled institutions. Some examples of institutions that face endless surveillance include the unrecognized branches of independent Protestant and Catholic house churches, Khmer Krom Buddhist temple, and the Unified Buddhist Churches of Vietnam. The ethnic Montagnards also face surveillance and mistreatment by security forces, which has caused hundreds of them to flee to Cambodia and Thailand for centuries. The last issue is sexual orientation and gender identity. Brunei has also been scrutinized for its recent implementation of Sharia law, which allowed the stoning of anyone found to be LGBT. Numan Afifif, an activist for the LGBT community, they have often received death threats just because he speaks of them. Even Malaysian own Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad said that Malaysia cannot accept LGBT culture back in 2018.
The next issue is the issue of labour market disruption. The pandemic COVID-19 has resulted in severe labour market disruption. The International Labour Organization estimates that there were 10.6 million fewer employed workers in the region in 2020 compared to a no-pandemic scenario. Employment losses were particularly hard on women, youth, and small and medium-sized enterprises. The employment gap has estimated at 9.3 million in 2021 and is forecast to be 4.1 million this year. For example, women workers had a higher likelihood of losing employment than their male workers globally as well in ASEAN region. Based on the figure above, we can see that female employment in Asian region in 2020 was 3.9% lower than expected level in the absence of the crisis compared to 2.7% for men workers.
I will explain the issues number 3, which is internal conflict and political change. Southeast Asia was the scene of some of the worst domestic violence of the late 20th century. For example, the Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia killed about 1.7 million during its brutal rule between 1975 and 1979 years ago. According to the one estimate, Myanmar, which was involved in 6 different illustrated conflicts and is the world's most conflict-prone country during the 1946 until 2003 period and having experienced 232 conflict years. Moreover, other Asian countries such as Philippines also have 86 conflict years, Indonesia 40 conflict years, and Thailand 35 conflict years. Internal conflict in the southern Thailand, southern Philippines, and Myanmar remain serious challenge to the human security. The main sources of internal conflict in Asia include lack of fit between the theoretical boundaries of the modern nation state and the ethnic composition of their population. For example, the members of the same ethnic group overlapping national boundaries and individual nation states containing many different ethnic groups. Besides that, domestic conflict tend to spill over national boundaries, especially when militants or refugees flee the conflict zone and seek protection in neighboring states. For example, as happening in the past when a member of the Communist Party of Malaya moved across the border into Thailand, and may be happening now with reported movement by Muslim radicals from Thailand South coming over Malaysia.
In this Asean Way Forward, practice that involve its ASEAN member states. So in this situation, ASEAN member states as the nation of people centricity may be integrated into a strategy to make the public more responsive to the execution of ASEAN policies and to demonstrate the direct benefits for the citizen from cooperation. The second party is ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. The third party is Universal Periodic Review (UPR). The fourth party is the Trust Fund for Human Security under the United Nations. They aim of promoting human security through the protection and empowerment of people and communities threatened in their survival and dignity. And the last party is Japan government, that leading international proponents of the human security concept, has been a major aid provider to Southeast Asia.
Next is the success of ASEAN has been successful in maintaining peace and harmony in the region since its beginning in 1976 years ago. ASEAN was established as a regional initiative to promote stability and as a protection against the threat of communist ideology in the area. Moreover, ASEAN has an important role in maintaining friendly and peaceful environment in the region among its members. Aside from the sole dispute between countries, Southeast Asia has been successful in avoiding regional conflict and serious problems. Based on the original purpose of ASEAN, ASEAN is known as a group to work against communist access and to maintain regional peace and stability in the country.
So now, we will be talking about the solution for all the issue in Asean Way Forward. First, to shelter the issue that is presented by Ms. Ashikin just now, which is human rights issue, there are several actions that are taken by ASEAN country. Okay, so to settle this issue, ASEAN member states have participated in UPR, which is Universal Periodic Review. So, what is UPR? UPR is a Universal Periodic Review under auspices of the UN Human Rights Council. So, Human Rights Council since 2008. So, UPR was established in 2006 by UN General Assembly. UPR is a mechanism that is assess human rights record for all UN members and produce with report improvement. So, if a country country want improvement, so they need to join UPR. Okay, so all ASEAN member country participate in the first school of UPR. So, and currently there are several countries join UPR, which is Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, and many more. Okay, so there are several issues that are highlighted during the UPR, the first school of UPR. The issue are human right defender, freedom of opinion and expression, enforced disappearance, astrological association, freedom of religion, and recommendation and cooperation with civil society at the national level. Recommendation that were commonly accepted by ASEAN member states relate to the right of human with disability, human right, education, right to housing, property reduction, trafficking in person, women right, and effort to combat corruption, improving and strengthening national human right institution, and citizen right. However, there are several issues that are rejected by ASEAN member states, which are issues related to the death penalty, emergency decrease, recruitment of child labor, working with special procedure, that are the most rejected issue.
To enable a strong and inclusive socio-economic recovery in the upcoming years, it is essential to address these large labor market disturbances. To this end, a collective and united Asian response, strengthened through regional cooperation, is important to overcome the unprecedented challenges presented by the COVID-19 crisis. The Asian Comprehensive Recovery Framework (ACRF), adopted at the 37th Asian Summit on 12 November 2020, lays out a clear implementation plan that serves as the consolidated exit strategy from the COVID-19 crisis. Under 5 broad strategies, the ACRF emphasizes a number of measures related to promoting decent work in the recovery process. These include expanding social protection, including for informal workers, and upgrading skills and human capital development. Moreover, the ACRF highlights the need for preparing labor policies through social dialogue, protecting employment in impacted sectors such as tourism and in micro, small and medium enterprises, and boosting rural agricultural productivity. The ACRF is in line with the joint statement of Asian Labour Ministers on response to the impact of COVID-19 on labour and employment. It emphasizes the importance of supporting affected migrant workers in the Asian region, including effective implementations of the Asian Consensus on the protection and promotion of the rights of migrant workers. The statement also highlights the importance of greater cooperation, including with international organizations in mutual agreement areas such as knowledge sharing, research and development, technical assistance, and resource mobilization to support rapid responses and post-pandemic recovery plan.
The last solution is embracing human security perspective. So, to minimize the worst manifestation of interstate conflict through emphasizing non-intervention and domestic, the governance has emphasized national interest and strengths in terms of security and economic growth. Hence, human security is rather a new concept in Asian security discourse. So, for the human security, Asean Way Forward promotes the gradual and voluntary cooperation of nation-states in order to achieve comprehensive security. Asean Way Forward also contribute to limiting the application of human security and the resolution of internal conflicts in Southeast Asia. In this solution, Asean Way Forward were using influence of Japan's development aid. Japan, one of the leading international proponents of the human security concept, has been a major aid provider to Southeast Asia. In this situation, Japan was obliged to compensate South Vietnam, Indonesia, Burma, and the Philippines, and in addition chose to give aid as a form of compensation to Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. In that year, the Japanese government announced to provide $4.2 million for the establishment of the Trust Fund for Human Security under the United Nations, making the Trust Fund the largest of its kind established in the UN. The UN that aims of promoting human security through the protection and empowerment of people and communities threatened in their survival and dignity. In 2003, Japan announced human security as one of 5 basic policies in their revised official development assisting charter. In terms of geographic dispersal and regional prioritization, Japan has earmarked the lion's share of its assistance for Asia, particularly to Southeast Asia countries with which Japan has close relationships and within which Japanese aid can have a major impact, open stability and prosperity. In response to the considerable influence of the Japanese government's promotion of human security and with significant Japanese support, ASEAN has embedded freedom from wants into the ongoing changes in the regions in the cause of promoting a people-centered approach.
In conclusion, there are many lessons that we can learn in Asian Way Forward, such as labour market disruption, human rights issue, internal conflicts and political change. To create a harmonious society, we need to accelerate the economic growth, social progress and cultural development in the region through joint endeavours in the spirit of equality and partnership in order to strengthen the foundation for a prosperous and peaceful community of Southeast Asian nations. Next, we also need to promote active collaboration and mutual assistance on matters of common interest in the economic, social, cultural, technical, scientific and administrative field. Lastly, maintain close and beneficial cooperation with existing international and regional organizations with similar aims and purpose, and explore all avenues for even closer cooperation among themselves. Thank you.